or even like these stupid walks. And you just sort of like, are you a good guy? Or, oh no, he's shooting me. No, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Well, you could usually tell, it's like you said, well, to be fair, just throw a grenade in and just go happy trails and then everything. He had the best one-liners in that.
Oh, he did.
That game.
Yeah.
It was so good.
And you know what? The guy
was bye bye bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, ho ho ho, I got a machine gun.
You know what? To say it wasn't Bruce Willis doing the voice, the guy was very good.
I thought he was really
He
good.
was
Yeah,
really good. Hey guys, girls, gamers, nerds alike, and those who found this show by mistake. Welcome to From Dusty Couches to Broken Discs. I'm your host Glenn, along with my co-host Adam.
Hello.
And my co-host Big Dave.
Yo.
We look at games old and new, from everything you have been playing to everything you're playing today. This week, we're going to be looking at Die Hard, but before we start this week's episode, let's plug in that controller, spin that disc, and roll the intro credits. So, yes, this week we are looking at the Die Hard Trilogy for the
Yippee
PlayStation.
Ki
Yippee Ki Yay! What a game! This to me, right? So I heard a video earlier today, and he said it wasn't really a hidden gem. Are you real? What the hell? This is a hidden gem. This is an amazing game. So I'm going to dive straight into memories. And Dave, I'm going to go to you first this week. Memories of this game. The Die Hard trilogy. All three of them. Where do you stand?
Well, to be honest, when I first got it, I got it in about 97. My dad came home with it after work. And I was so excited, turned it on. And then I think I was doing the one in the tower.
Die Hard 1, yeah, first one.
Running through and stuff like that, obviously shooting up all the bad guys and stuff like that. And then my mum saw it and actually shouted at me and took the game off me. And I wasn't allowed to play it.
Bro, I'm not going to lie, for a PS1, it was a very gruesome game.
It was actually, wasn't it? And so it was in the top cupboard for fucking ages. And then the only time I could actually play it was like when she'd go out or something like that on a night out, and I'd just sneak downstairs and be like, yeah.
Just a little Dave like going.
But yeah, I genuinely loved the game. It was so good.
Was you sat there though in your white vest playing it?
Speaking of which, I'm wearing a vest now.
Just Dave crawling through some air vents, waiting for his mum to go out.
Dave saw this as an opportunity to not shower, so he looked more authentic for the episode.
But I mean, myself, I love my driving games. So as well, obviously the third game, Die Hard Vengeance, on this was so good. I loved it. I mean, even though loads of people will say that's the worst one, I genuinely loved it.
It was shit.
Yeah, it was. I will agree. I wasn't a massive fan of it, but you could do like a perfect 90-degree turn by tapping a button. You just sort of I can't even do that now. Just driving down the road, I can't do a perfect 90-degree turn.
And then you'd obviously you drive through the bombs and stuff like that, and then all the people they stood around a bit, and then they'd be blown up.
It's perfectly fine though. It's fine.
And they'd scatter.
They'd all set on fire, wouldn't they, and just come bust.
Yeah, literally.
Like the Human Torch come running at you. But even when birds got set on fire, they flew away like nothing happened. Like this is just a casual Wendy, this, isn't it?
But yeah, they were my. It was like my secret shame, that game. I couldn't. I had to sneak down and play that on the quiet.
Adam, what about you? Memories of this game?
Same. Well, same year as Dave as well.
Dave's mum took it away from you as well.
I was thinking
and took it off you.
I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to think of a joke on the spot, but I failed hard. So I'm just gonna go into my story. I also didn't play it until 1997. I know it came out in 96.
Yeah,
around Christmas, didn't it? But I think my dad all got it for me as well, but in the summer of
All right,
'97.
yeah.
And he brought it home, and we had the gun.
Yes.
Gun version. So we had the whole thing. So I didn't really ever play game 1 because I wanted to just use the gun all the time. The gun I just remember opening the box and just seeing this gun, and I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever fucking seen in my life."
Is it just me, or was that gun like the same size as the PS1? Not the PS1 Mini, not the Mini. I mean the original PS1.
It was definitely a weighty boy, wasn't it?
Well, obviously, I'd never.
Took 4 of you to get it out of the box.
I thought that was all the size of all guns. I was like, yeah, it's so realistic. But yeah, so I just remember like it was the first time I'd ever played a game outside of an arcade that I could shoot my gun at the screen. And just being like, I know I say this quite a lot, but I was legitimately blown away with it. I was like, no
literally, and figuratively.
Literally.
I mean, you shot one person in that game anyway, and he just blew up like a meat sack anyway. So the whole game was just explosions, no matter what. You shot like a vending machine, and it blew up.
Yeah.
So I can understand why it blew you away.
Whenever there's explosions, it's instantly better. But like that opening scene of it when you're walking through the airport car park, like instantly as well, I thought, the graphics on this are really good. And then next thing you know, this police car just bombs it in,
slides in,
sign, and then someone fires a rocket and there's a big explosion and you're like, yeah! And then you start shooting everyone.
Just our best day ever.
just touching on that as well though, like when it does first start up in the airport and then it's like that really calm, like nice music playing as well, that dun 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 dun. Everything's nice,
and then it kicks into some like rave techno music and you're like, yeah,
that's some shit show.
Isn't that how life goes? Song starts off nice and peaceful, and then hardcore rave techno comes in, and everything goes to shit.
To be honest, the amount of times I've just sat there and listened to that song on repeat, it's so good. I used to love that music.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, so that when it came out, like that was my favorite game at the time. Like instantly, I was like, this is the best game I've ever played in my life. So I used to like go around to like look forward to getting around to my dad's at the weekend. I like turn up and be like, "Hi son, how you doing?" Be like, "Fucking get out of the way! Where's my chocolate penguins? Time for Die Hard." My stepmom used to work at McVitie's at the time, right, and used to bring home carrier bags full of broken penguins, like carrier bags full. So I used to just be like nomming fucking penguins and playing Die Hard.
I think Adam may have named the episode again. Numbing penguins and playing Die Hard. Love it.
So yeah, no wonder I was a fat little bastard. So that's the extent of my memories. What about you, Glenn?
For me, much like you, Adam, again, I'd go around to my dad's and play it, and we had the gun and things like that. And I wasn't there to see my dad. I was there to play Die Hard. That's the only reason that I went round. Except we didn't have like penguins. We had tinned hot dogs and tinned burgers. So my food was a bit shit. So I didn't eat. I didn't eat while I was there.
You're not there with a bowl of pedigree chum or something.
Pretty much. The only thing I had to look forward to was Die Hard, and the fact I slept downstairs on the sofa.
Did he put it in a bowl for you and put it on a mat in the corner?
Die Hard and a bowl of pedigree chum, why
not? But again, I remember using the gun. That airport level was like by far the best thing I'd ever played at the time. We've said this many times, and I've said it about me personally. I hate first-person shooter games, but I think that this is like the first one I properly played. Like, properly. Yeah, I'd played a little bit of Doom. I'd played a little bit of Quake. They weren't really... They were just there. They were all right. This, I actually had a gun. You know, I was like... this is where it begins. This is where it starts.
Typical Manx.
But then you sort of like, after a while, at first, you're sort of like, yeah, I'm well gangster. You're like holding the guns to the side, thinking you're all hard. And then after you've died a few times, you're serious. You're like that, then, aren't you? You're sort of like, come on. Constantly shooting it down to reload and firing, reload. Every 2
else
shots,
fire like, sorry.
Every 2 shots, you'd reload just to be on the same side. Now,
that's what I was going to say here.
I jumped on it again the other day to give it a quick play, to sort of like re-jog my memory about it. The first one I did was immediately jumped onto the second one. But because it's on an emulator and I'm trying to use a PS4 controller, originally you had to use the D-pad. It didn't have the analog. And trying to move the crosshair across the screen is so hard with a D-pad. So I went back through changed.
That's actually my memories of it as well, because that's why I didn't enjoy the airport one as much until like.
Because you didn't have the gun.
Because I didn't have the gun. Well, like you say, I had to sneak down and get the game out of the fucking drawer.
Can you imagine if your mum let you have a gun as well? Yeah.
I couldn't enjoy it until I was older anyway. So.
No son of mine will have a gun.
Mummy said no.
Everyone at school going, so did you play Die Hard last night? Dave's like, no.
I'm just...
He comes home and his mum's like with a ruler, stood there like
you will do your homework. Shut the fuck up.
Just Dave sat.
Mummy, no!
Just Dave sat in his room. His mum disappears for a second. John McClane had homework to do, but instead,
I imagine at night as well when you were sneaking down, you'd like crawl through, like you climb in the ceiling and like come down through the walls.
She's just on the roof like the Grudge. Oh, fucking hell.
Your mum's cleaning the window one day and you're like, I've seen this scene somewhere.
You see,
I give her a little kick. The house will explode and I can play Die Hard.
Dave trying to do a Hans Gruber moment with his mum out the window. just so he can go play the game.
Yippee ki yay.
Best Christmas bonus I ever got.
Best Christmas bonus I ever got.
They sat there eating me Twinkies as well. Like a proper OG.
See, that first game though, sort of going on to the three of them, let's talk about them all individually as they are. So the first one, Dave, like you said, you played more of that first game than you did the second one because you didn't have the gun. But with that first one, what sort of jumps out at you as something that was quite defining about that particular game?
Finding the fucking elevators. Jesus Christ, that did my head in.
What, in the middle of the room? You couldn't really miss.
That was the point of it. They'd always move it around. It wasn't always in the middle of the room. They would move it into different sections. And obviously, that was the thing about the game. Even though it's really old, there was some tactics to it. Where obviously you'd start at certain points, you run and kill. Obviously, you kill all the guys, and then obviously you'd have like the big boss guy comes out who takes like an extra 200 shots.
Yeah, but it's just me. Or was that one gun that he had was so good that it could kill anything?
Well, yeah, but then, like you say, that's what was going back to like the tactics and stuff like that. So once you killed him, then you're on the timer, and you've got to get back to the elevator before it blows up.
Yeah.
The amount of times, like you say, you just miss the elevator, or you're right outside the fucker. And then it's like, no! The door just closes in your face and then everything blows up.
And then it just goes on, that's life! In regards to that first game, though, that I think the actual game as a whole, the Die Hard Trilogy, I think it was very good because it gave you 3 different games from 3 different ways of playing these types of games. So your first one was like your third person, running around. The only thing is, though, as I've replayed it, everyone looks exactly the same, so I don't know who's a bad guy and who's like someone who needs saving. Obviously, I can see them cowering in the corner. Right, that person needs saving.
They were always there in the corner going, "Help me!"
But when you've like released them and let them go, and they just start running around in circles. You just sort of like, what's going on?
They started like strutting, didn't they?
They always did that run where they're like,
well, even the villains, when they come in, they're like, what's going on? The way they walk, arms flailing everywhere, coming at you. Or even like these stupid walks, and you just sort of like, are you a good guy? Or, oh no, he's shooting me. No, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Well, you could usually tell, it's like you said, well, to be fair, just throw a grenade in and just go happy trails. And then everything he had the best one-liners in that.
Oh, he did.
That game.
Yeah.
So good.
And you know what? The guy.
Bye bye, bad guy.
Bye bye, bad guy.
Yeah, it's just like, ho ho ho, I got a machine gun.
Ho ho, I've got a machine gun.
You know what? To say it wasn't Bruce Willis doing the voice, the guy was very good.
I thought he was really good.
He was really good.
Well, I'd never seen the film at the time. I wasn't interested in it. So like, I just thought, I didn't actually know that it was based on a film. I just thought this is like a sick game, and they just made 3 games called Die Hard.
And then one day he watched the film and went, I've seen a game based on this.
Yeah.
You just shoot everything, and people like, I just thought people just had to die hard. Like, you just had to shoot them.
You didn't die hard enough.
That's why he went on to the second one. Oh, die harder. Okay.
Well, in the second one, you could shoot fucking... People chuck a knife at you or fire a rocket, you could just blow it up as it's on its way to you. So I thought that was part of dying harder.
Oh, fucking hell.
But, am I the only one who thought the first game was shit?
No, I agree with you.
I loved the first game. I thought it was really good. But then again, I didn't have the gun, so
yeah,
I didn't get the full experience of the second one.
The thing with the first one is, as well, you could stand against certain walls and it'd become see-through in a certain way. You stood there and you could see what was in the room, or you could see around the corners. And so
I don't mind that because it was so compact. Like, if they hadn't have done that, you wouldn't have been able to see fuck all.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can get around that. I don't mind that. For me, it was just the same shit over and over.
It was repetitive.
Everything was the same. Everything behaved the same way. The AI is fucking terrible in the first game.
I mean, we say that about the PS1 version, but have you seen some of the stuff that came from like the Sega Saturn version? And the PC version. The PC version looked good, but it played like a bag of shit, basically.
The graphics, the effects on the PC version were shitter than the PS1.
But the normal sort of textures of the game, apart from explosions, were good. Yeah. Like when something exploded and it tried to show like there was a bit of smoke, it was like dead cartoony, and it was look at it going, what? And the Sega Saturn one just may as well have not even existed. They really did design this game on the best console at the time, which was the PS1. So, I mean, going off that, so we talked briefly about the first one. Let's go into the second one, so the airport level. Dave,
just to touch on that as well, sorry, just to interrupt. You can tell that basically they knew that the gun was going to exist. Yeah. And you could tell that the whole game, the whole trilogy was built with Die Hard 2 being the selling point of the game. Yeah. Like, that had the most detail, the best gameplay, you had the gun,
the best soundtrack.
Immersed in it. Yeah, the soundtrack. Yeah. He basically like.
I thought, the hip hop music as you're driving the taxi was pretty good.
To be fair, I think I prefer the soundtrack in number 3. Yeah,
but yeah, number 2 had a great soundtrack. The voice acting though in the second one wasn't that great, even though it's the same guy. He tried to imitate Bruce Willis more in this one instead of making the role his own. But which he's done in the first game.
Graphically, effects, the way you like just everything about it was, you can tell all their budget went into number 2.
Yeah.
Which is really strange though, because in the actual films, I think number 2 is the weakest film. Like, number 1's really good and number 3's really good, but number 2 is just in an airport is proper shit. I hated that one.
Number 1's just in a building.
No, but it was just really entertaining, and at the time, it was one of it was just such a good film at the time, and everyone's saying it's not a Christmas film because it's a fucking Christmas film.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that, you know. But to be fair though, let's at least admit that the first 3 films were the best ones.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Anything else after 3.
Anything's like better than 4. I mean, that was 4.0. What the fuck it is?
Can I admit something?
Oh, if you say what I think you're gonna say, I'm gonna walk and fucking punch you in the face.
I've never seen 2 or 3 or 4.
What?
Well, I thought you were actually gonna say that you preferred 4.
That is something I would normally do, but I've not seen it.
Really was.
Don't forget, there was Die Hard 5 as well.
Oh.
I've not seen. Yeah, I've seen number 1, and that is it. Like, I've not seen any other Die Hard.
2 and 3, you need to watch those ones at least.
Yeah, no,
they are good.
Two,
Okay.
Yeah, 3's amazing. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. What more do you want?
Yeah.
Well, if it's anything like the game, all you do is run people over and explode things. So.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds like a pretty. Maybe I should watch it then. I'll probably enjoy it.
It's right up your alley.
So, with that second game, obviously the great thing is you were on a track, and I think that's why, obviously, because they gave you the gun, it made it a little bit more entertaining. I know, obviously, there were times that you wanted to sort of move a certain way and you couldn't because you were on a track. Now, I've never been a fan of the games that are on doing that, going through the track.
It's a rail. It's called a rail shooter.
It's a rail, rail. Yeah. But obviously, it was nice because, like you said, you felt more. It felt a bit more immersive because you had the gun, so you felt like you were more.
It's like a Time Crisis type one, isn't it? Really?
Well, that's exactly where they took their inspiration from.
Yeah.
It felt very much like Time Crisis, and I think that's the whole reason that it felt like it was so good because the gun peripheral that was sold and everyone was buying them was obviously must have been doing well for them to go, right, we're going to make this game and we want it aimed at this. We're going to build it around the gun. And that's exactly what they did. Like Adam said, this game was built around knowing that the second one was probably going to be more successful. But I mean, even the development of the game originally, when they first started designing it, started off as just going to be a driving game. Yeah. That's how it started.
Dave's gutted now.
I know, yeah. At least he still put it in there. So.
What could have been? Going on to sorry, Adam, go on.
No, I was just going to say it wasn't just the gun that made it more immersive. It was the fact that graphically, instantly when the game loads, it is graphically superior to number 1 and number 3. Yeah. So much more stuff happens in it. There's constantly stuff like
there's always something happening.
Scene where the cars come screeching in, one thing explodes, someone fires a rocket, someone's running, you try to shoot people. It's
just that bit though where the police car comes and goes, "This just ain't my day.
This is not my day."
Well, there's that. I remember as well that obviously, it was a lot harder with just having the standard D-pad. And do you remember the jet ski? Snowmobile.
Snowmobile, yeah.
I remember that being a fucking nightmare fuel.
You're shaking with the snowmobile,
It's just it was just so much faster, so much more fast paced and stuff like that. It was a proper nightmare with a D-pad.
It really was, and like I say, playing it the other day, I had to switch it over and put it on the analog stick, and I was like, I can't do this. I just can't. It's so hard to move that because you can only go that way.
Up, down, left, right.
Yeah. No. Whereas put it on the analog stick, I could move it all over the show, anywhere, and it's easy to shoot people. And putting the cheats in also helps.
I never actually used cheat on this game.
I've never used the cheat on it. Yeah.
Oh, I did. It's just because obviously, as I'm playing it on,
you're the person I would expect to use cheats as well.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because I'm playing it on an emulator, I wanted to get through the game a little bit quicker, just so I could, you know, obviously we could talk about it a bit more. And obviously, in regards to the second one, I just kept dying. I wasn't even getting through the first part of the level. I just kept dying before I got to the door at the end. I was like, this is doing my head in. So I put the cheat in, and I got all the way to the very end, and I was like, all right, sweet.
Look at trying to justify it now.
only took me an hour. All right.
You piece of shit.
The game that number 2 only takes an hour to complete anyway. You don't need to cheat to only take an hour.
Yeah.
You're just an impatient bastard, Glenn.
Yeah. I kept dying. I don't like dying, all right?
But the attention to detail is just so much better. Like the little decorations that he had around the room to let you know it was Christmas time. All the monitors that had like text on them, they weren't just a monitor with fuck all. And I liked that they didn't tell you that if you shot at the screens or the vending machines or stuff, that you would then get an item. You accidentally shot it because you fucking all over the place with your gun. And then you're like, oh, something's happened there, so I'll shoot it again. And then eventually, like, you get something for it.
Like more and more health.
I liked that, it didn't hold your hand and tell you had to do things. It kind of...
We've said that
found
before,
things
though.
out for yourself.
We've said that before, haven't we, about older games.
Yeah,
especially a lot on the older games, you didn't get spoon-fed because at the end of the day, the instructions were in the manual.
Yeah.
You don't get the manual anymore. You don't get manuals. The instructions on how to play it were in there. You were made to read before you could play the game. You know, it was read this. That's how you play it. Right, get straight into the action. Now you spend like what, an hour on a tutorial level on any given game. At the moment, it's like an hour on a tutorial level before you can get into the main game. This just sort of went. Go.
Just threw you straight into the action.
Go. Like that first one, you open up, you're in the middle of a car park, and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? Running around shooting people, and again, you're in an airport. The car comes screeching in. Next minute, there's a rocket launcher being fired at you. What do I do?
Well, it's the same with the driving one as well. It's literally you get in the car, literally drive slightly forward and crash into a bin and it blows up.
Yeah.
He drives into a bin and it doesn't destroys half of New York.
That's why I was scared of going to New York in case it was really like that, you know. No, I don't want to go. We'll go on
about screaming and running from bins as you go down the street.
Going on to that third game, I think the soundtrack on the third one was one of the best. You know, as soon as it starts and you get those little DJ decks that goes wah wah, and you're like, yeah, and then you're in this car and you're driving along and you're just sort of like, nice, some R&B, you know, hip hop, dancing around, driving along. Next minute, you've got an icon telling you which way to go to a bomb, smack into it, blows everything up, and it's perfectly fine, you know.
I love the banter as well, as obviously you've got like the guy playing Samuel L. Jackson. He's just like, slow down, we're going to go back in time. See the burnout and stuff. Fast.
When you run someone down and he's just like, you just killed somebody.
I know, they're all perfectly fine with it. And all the other games, you kill someone by accident, it goes, oh, you know, you've lost a civilian that you're trying to save. On this one, plow them down, it's fine. And have you seen the bit where you go into first-person view in the car and you smash into them? There's just like blood splattered all over the car. Yeah. So what does he do? Put the wipers on.
We put the window wipers on.
Like, we'll just deal with that later.
I know, yeah. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
No one's gonna miss that guy. It's okay.
I used to hate the trucks as well. I mean, like, you know, obviously they were like overpowered. Like, it was obviously just keep crashing into the other cars and stuff like that, like the bosses and stuff in it. But they were so overpowered.
It was such that third one was I actually, you know what, for a little, it felt more like a mini game to me than anything. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they were all like arcade style, weren't they? It was very good that you had 3 games that were all very, very different and very different styles of playing, so you could pick which style worked better for you, and you could just keep playing that game.
But I love how loyal it was as well to the actual films. Like, you know, every part, like from the driving one, was in, you know, like the actual film, stuff like that.
Exactly.
You could park. You've got the obviously downtown.
So he runs people over, and it's fine. Just turns his wipers on.
No, but even
he drives into bins and they explode.
Well, they do have quite a few sections with the bins and stuff.
I was going to say, would you expect any more from Bruce Willis?
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, I know he's retired from acting now, and we're very sorry about that. But you did make some great films. This is one of them.
But he was one of the big superstars at the time, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, any action film,
like you say,
action
Arnold,
film. It came
Bruce
down
Willis.
it basically came down to those three, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of Arnie, Bruce, or Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Any of them three were going to be in this film, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
And I think they made the right choice going with Bruce Willis.
I couldn't imagine Schwarzenegger stuck in the air vents
with a little white tank top.
Get me down! Bring me the cookie now!
Put the cookie down now!
You couldn't, but could you try seeing slow? Yippee ki yay!
My biggest memory of the third one as well is when a guy's screaming like, "We're not gonna make it!"
Yeah,
I still say that to this day. If we're running late for anything, I always find myself saying it like that. Like, we're not gonna make it. And the way the car handles, the guy gives directions as well. Like my girlfriend gives directions.
Take the next left.
Yeah, but as you're passing the turn, so you have to slam the fucking handbrake on. We'll be passing a junction and she'd be like, "Left here now!" And then, my car doesn't quite turn like that.
There's no button for that 90-degree turn.
It's about, I like that you could change the cars as well. Obviously, when you went into the car parks and you could get the police car or that.
You change cars by smashing into them so hard that you transfer from one car into the other.
Basically, go through the window and go. Literally, they were those amazing games. Explosions, crashes.
Can you please
everywhere?
Can you please admit that the last mission is the stupidest mission on Earth?
Oh, what were you got to destroy the helicopter?
You have to fucking launch your car in the air and land on top of the helicopter.
Ironically, that happens in Die Hard 4.
Are we making you want to watch them, yeah?
This is, it's like they took inspiration. The guy writing the script for Die Hard 4 was like, right, I need something really outstanding and amazing and out there. And he just looked, someone was playing the game and he went, helicopter and a car. Got it. Got it. And I mean, just sort of what? You have to get that power up, didn't you? That said, jump or something like that.
It said launch, yeah.
Launch, that was it.
Yeah,
and it just fired you up into the air and you had to land on top of the helicopter. That is just ridiculous.
It's fucking stupid.
But it was amazing at the same time.
Yes, it really was.
Even at 7 years old, I was like, this is stupid.
But so good. As he's chowing down on the penguin. Now, obviously, when we do films that are very much based on games and things like that, we like to talk about the film a little bit as well.
Games that are based on films.
Yeah, well, either way, Well, you thought the film was based on the game.
Well, yes,
we'll go on that. So, do you think that the films and the games sort of go hand in hand? Do you reckon that, obviously, Adam, you've only seen the first film.
Well, like I was saying a minute ago, they are very loyal. I do genuinely think they are really quite loyal to the films. Obviously,
you can see the bits of the film in certain scenes, can't you?
Of course you can, yeah.
Especially when you're in the second game and you're going through the airport. It is very much the same, and you're going up to the church and everything. Like you say with the snowmobile. It's all bits that you'd see in the film as well. Even just
the original intro and stuff like that. When you start the game, when you click on the first one, and then obviously you have the black limousine rolling up, to the plaza and stuff like that.
Yeah. My only gripe to that though is in the first. I can only go off the first one because that's the only one I've seen. Yeah. But obviously that end scene with Hans Gruber, is like a super iconic scene, but it's not in the game.
No.
At all.
No, yeah,
in any sense.
Yeah,
what they do is, to end the game, you step in an elevator, and then it goes, well done. And then it cuts to a scene of the building blowing up, but it's a shit animation, and you don't feel any form of, like, success.
I know, but that kind of, like, from the film is, like, that when he drops Hans Gruber, and it's like, it's so iconic, you know, when he's falling, like, slow motion.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine trying to do that on, like, the PS.
No, they could have done that. They definitely could have done it.
It would have just looked like a little sausage falling off the fucking...
It's just a cutscene. You could have basically he could have been stood next to a window. You could have shot him, and then it could have cut to a cutscene of him falling out the window.
I just think it would have looked shit. There's like a little sausage falling off the window.
And it's not just.
Put the hands like that, because the hands don't move properly.
Yeah, exactly. They just had these little nubbies, don't they?
But you can see where the joints were on some of the animations as well. So you'll be able to see the joints move.
I mean, the only other thing they could have done is literally just steal a clip from the actual film, you know, just have him falling off the building.
No, they could have animated it. I'm not having that. They could have done a cutscene.
Time constraints. Time constraints.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just number one either. It's all three games. The way the end is utter shit.
Could you do better?
Yeah.
No, you fucking can't.
Oh God! Another thing we have got to say though, which we've done on many episodes, and we like to make a good point of this, is again it was UK made.
Yeah.
I mean,
we say it proudly, like we
revolved
it.
We do it like that. We've done it like we did it. Yeah, we made this game.
my boys.
Repping it up for the home team there. You know? It was again though. This came out years after the films, and it was still good. You know, I still really enjoyed it, and I mean, actually replaying it again the other day, all those memories just started flooding back of literally borrowing the game, taking it home, playing it, and just having the gun, taking 6 people to lug it up, to just sort of hold it. It was great. I really enjoyed it, and this is one of those games that when the new PlayStation Plus kicks off, I hope it's going to be one of those games that's backwards compatible, and it is going to be on the PS5 and the PS4 and things like that, and you get to replay it. And it'd be fun to see if they do it like with the move guns.
Yeah,
the PlayStation.
I was going to say, it would be good because on the PlayStation, you guys have the VR headset, don't you?
Yeah,
they could do it in VR, so you can have virtual guns. So you can just.
That would be great. Playing that second game in VR. I mean, maybe not the third one where you're driving and you're smacking blood all over the screen.
That'd be sick.
Driving along, blood splatter.
I was going to say as well, like the reason why I think number 2 is my favourite game as well is, as you guys full well know, I have a very short attention span, and the fact that you can complete that game in an hour, I think really plays to my level of like boredness. So when I do get very bored, like it doesn't matter what game it is, it could be any game. After an hour, I'm like, right, I'm just going to stop for a little bit now because I'm a bit bored. I'm going to do something else and I'll come back to it. So I really think like for someone like me, it really helps. Like the facts that I know, I'm at the end now. Like there's only a little bit of time to go and I can finish the game off.
Yeah.
Plus the facts that I get to blow people up, and you can. Do you remember if you shot someone with a rocket, you'd see the skeleton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love doing that.
And now
blow up and then...
Now you see why my mum took it off me.
Or you blow something up and they get caught in a fire and they'd run around on fire like, ah! And you get a mercy shot.
Even like you say, even the pigeons would blow up.
Yeah.
It's like you see the little balls of like pigeon flying everywhere.
Yeah, but the pigeons just didn't care that they were on fire. They carried on doing the business.
Didn't care. I'm just going to carry on eating some seed even though I'm bucket.
No, you watch any video, right, and you see them on fire, they just sort of like fly away like nothing's happened. Yeah, there's some guy running down the street on fire screaming, and you've just got a pigeon going. Duh, 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 duh.
Those pigeons are hard as fuck, mate. They don't give a fuck.
You know, like people say that video game trees are the strongest thing in any video game. No, it's the pigeons in Die Hard. Those fuckers just don't give a shit.
Can we also talk about? I can't remember if it does it in the first one. This is mainly the second game again. The end of the level scenes when it shows you how many terrorists.
Yeah, it's on all of them. Yeah. So you
and they all set on fire. And
yeah,
they all
I know. It's so like it's proper. No wonder, Dave. No wonder your mum took this off you. I was sat playing it the other day, and I was like, "Ooh!" When they all come on at the end, and they're like,
and it's the same when you're putting in your name, isn't it? It's obviously you're putting in your initials and stuff like that.
And then he goes,
I love that. Yeah. The way they followed you around.
Exactly, it's really good.
You.
And then he goes, "Yippee ki yay!"
And then as soon as he does that, they all just go, "All right, I'm done for today."
And then they all just walk off, don't they?
They all just go, "All right, I've had enough of that. I'll see you later."
See,
it's just little details like that I loved. It was just so good.
Well, it's unfortunate because those on PC and the Sega Saturn never got that little animation at the end. They literally just had plain text on the screen that just said, "Here's what you killed, here's what you won, here's what you did, blah, blah, blah." Or us on PlayStation actually got all these fantastic little mini things.
Exactly.
How many people did you save when it came up like 95%? You're like, oh.
And the 5% set on fire. You didn't save them.
You didn't save the pigeons.
How many pigeons? But it's kind of like that, the Crash Bandicoot thing where they get all the boxes and then they all just drop on your head.
Just all these fire pigeons come flying at you. Here's all the pigeons you could have saved.
you missed the final trash can. Then they just throw a taxi at you.
Oh God!
With the third one, did you not think it was like, so you're in a rush to get to where you need to be, and then that big fucking clock comes on the screen and you can't see anything?
It's very annoying, wasn't it?
It was so much pressure though. So much pressure.
Like, this game did that bit really well, didn't it? Like the pressure of everything.
Yeah.
It did that really well.
But then again, it kind of comes, like Adam was saying, it comes down to the shit fucking sat nav. You're already going through the building.
Did you guys ever try and play it actually in first person? Apart from when you just run someone over, did you ever try and play the game in first person?
Yeah.
It's fucking impossible. It moves so fast, difficult. You can't see anything.
It's just got that like mechanic, the way it turns and stuff like that. It turns like on a dime. It's just like,
It's impossible. Like I could never do it in first person.
God.
No, I'll stick to like the third person view on the game. It's easy. I prefer that. Before we move on, have you guys got anything else you want to say before we go to the fan memories? Anything else you want to say about the game?
Well, I've got plenty, but we'll move on. We'll be here all day.
I know, yeah, we could be. This is such a good game that we might have to do a second episode at some point.
We've not even got onto my page 2 yet, so we'll best move on.
Wow.
I know, yeah.
How much research did you do?
I told you, I played it loads. Like.
I like how he's saying this, but he hasn't actually got anything to back it up. So
it's just like, I was like,
it's all this information, but we don't need. We'll just pass it from now.
There's a page 2, but it's completely blank.
He wrote his name like 1,000 times. It was like, Adam. All this
and then I spell it wrong, like Adam.
I've done all this research, but you move on, Glenn. You move on.
It's fine. It's fine. You can find Adam's research on an extra episode, which is from Dusty Couches to Broken Discs behind the scenes with Adam. You can film that yourself, and yeah.
I'm in the shower, and you two walking like, "Hello." Oh God.
Whoa! I got a machine gun.
Whip the curtain open and go, right, Adam, what was that research you had?
You two kick my door and you're like, "Yippee ki yay!"
So yes, it's now on to your memories. starting off with Graham, which I've put in brackets here, Glenn's dad, because I was talking to my dad about this, and he put the airport level was far too good, very frustrating, but using the gun made the game really fun. Then this little bastard borrowed the game and pretty much never saw it again. You meant me.
It's really sad when we've got to get our parents on the show. Mummy, will you like my video?
We probably should have got your mum's point of view on this anyway.
Yeah. Dave, go get your mum. Go get your mum. Go on.
When she finds out that you actually ended up playing the game, just starts beating him on the camera.
It's got 20 years worth of big bitch slap.
It's really still in the cupboard, isn't it? Hiding. We've got a lot of other podcasts who have mentioned on this one. So I've got Night of the Living Podcast on Twitter. Game's an absolute banger. Honourable mention to the arcade Die Hard game, which is also a classic. I never played the Die Hard arcade game, and when we went to play the arcade, was it there?
I don't recall seeing that one. I don't recall seeing that one.
Because if it was there, we would have to go back and play it. I'd have to try it. DualSense Podcast, one of our all-time favourites. Still own a physical copy just in case. We both used to pass the controller back and forth, trying to get as far as we could in Nakatomi Plaza. Take this, Yankee.
Oh yeah.
Take this, Yankee.
All the time. Take this, Yankee.
I've also got Michael on Twitter who put, I played the game far too much, had the light gun, me and my brother fought over the game. I would run around the house shouting "Yippee Ki Yay!" Yippee Ki Yay! Sorry, Dave. When his mum wasn't around. I've got Jason on Facebook who said, I played this with my dad and my uncle. I remember loving the movies as a kid. You brought back some old memories for this old bastard. I've got Mac on Facebook as well. He says the music was probably the best thing about this game. Driving around in a taxi to some groovy hip hop, but the voice acting was a little pants. And I've also got We Have Been Watching podcast on Instagram. It felt like a game too good to be true. 3 games in one. I also worked at a game shop, and all the parents kept coming in asking for Die Hard Trilogy.
Oh, no.
So thank you very much for all your memories in regards to the games and all those podcasts. We give a shout out. Go and give them a listen as well. You can find them on Twitter, and we do share them quite a lot on there. So if you guys have got anything else, do you want to move on to the quiz? See if we can.
Sure. Yeah. No. No. It's just. Oh.
Adam's like, no, let's just end it there. It's been a good episode. Let's just call it a day.
You got a good streak going, Angel, with the quizzes, so you should be all right.
I got battered on the Batman episode, though.
Yeah, true.
Look at him, I'm like, yeah.
100%,
yeah,
baby, 100%.
Sorry about that. Okay, so, yes, we're on to the Die Hard quiz. Are you two ready?
As I'll ever be.
Okay. So I've split this up. So some questions are going to be about the first Die Hard game, then the second Die Hard game, and then the third. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting to get almost 0.
He always says this, and then he ends up getting like bloody.
I know, yeah.
100%.
Okay, so question number 1. How many floors are in Nakatomi Tower?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Is it A, 104, B, 35, C, 10, D, 67?
Is this that you can play in the game, or just
it's
in
the
the
game?
actual tower?
It's just in the game. So,
I mean, as in like playable floors.
Yes.
So you play on all of those number of floors?
Yeah.
Okay, can you please read out the numbers again?
Yeah, of course. It is A, 104, B, 35, C, 10, D, 67.
Okay. It's just a pure guess.
I know, yeah.
So in 3, 2, 1. Adam says B, Dave says C. Adam, you are correct with B.
Oh.
Yes!
And it starts. I don't remember there being that many levels.
No,
actually.
it makes most logical sense because 10 seems too low, but anything like 100
Yeah, no,
odd
I've seen-
seems,
I've seen
and
it
60
with that,
I'd seen far too many
Yeah.
playable
Yeah.
levels. So.
35 seemed too many though for some reason. I don't know.
I remember
Okay.
there being a lot and it taking fucking ages to get through.
Yeah.
So, question number 2. Once the bomb is located, how many seconds do you have to reach the elevator?
Oh,
Is
I
it-
don't know.
A, 70, B, 10, C, 60, or D, 30?
Oh, you are a piece of shit. You've put this in. They're all like, there's 2 of them that are like standard times as well. Like,
Yeah.
So, you ready?
Mhm.
3,
not really, but
2, 1. You both say D. You are both correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Again, that was just the most logical guess.
Yeah.
Which vehicle from the film cannot be seen in the basement of the car park?
I know.
Is it A, the black truck, B, the limo, C, the ambulance, or D, a car?
Okay.
Sorry, 3, 2, 1. You're both correct with B. It is the limo, yes.
Why does my letter go on screen backwards, but Dave's is the right way around?
It's,
My
it's,
camera
it's
flipped.
backwards for me though.
Oh, is it?
Have you got your camera flipped?
Maybe.
I've got my camera flipped, so obviously when I put my up as well, it's the wrong way around.
Yeah.
No, that's the right side. I don't know. I don't care.
Okay,
Fuck it.
so question number 4. How do you gain health in the first game? Is it A, saving hostages, B, eating a Twinkie, C, shouting Yippee Ki Yay, or D, teabagging a terrorist?
Please let it be D. Can you just read? I forgot what you said at the start. Can you just read them all out again, please?
Yeah. A, saving hostages, B, eating a Twinkie, C, shouting Yippee Ki Yay, or D, teabagging a terrorist?
But there's other ways to get health in that, and it's none of them. We are talking about the first game, aren't you?
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
I know other ways that you can get health in that game, but it's none of them. But, yeah, all right, okay.
I have no idea. Genuinely.
I'll tell you in a minute when we've answered. But
So
well, if it's none of those, it doesn't matter.
No,
Anyway.
you can get
there
health
must be,
this
there
way.
must be a way
Yeah.
of doing it this way, but there is other
Yeah.
ways of getting health in it as well, which is none of them.
Well, we'll answer it anyway. So in 3, 2, 1,
Just gonna guess.
it is A, saving hostages.
Okay.
Yeah, but you could get the Coke can as well. You could get the cans of Coke.
Yeah, you can.
It,
Yeah. This is another way of gaining health. Obviously, there was 2 ways.
So, yeah.
How many levels are in Die Hard 2? Is it A, 15, B, 9, C, 27, or D, 87?
If I get this wrong, I'm like a right twat.
Just read the numbers again, please.
Yeah, of course. Is it A, 15, B, 9, C, 27, or D, 87?
Cool.
I've been bragging about this being my favourite game of the,
I know, yeah.
and how much I played it, and if I get this wrong, I'm like, right, fucking
So,
hell, man.
in 3, 2, 1, you both say B. You are both correct.
I'm annoyed that I fucked up that first question because we would have been drawing otherwise.
Question number 6. What happens on the game over screen for Die Hard 2? Is it A, the airport blows up, B, the plane crashes, C, John McClane gets divorce papers, or D, a terrorist shoots him in the head? You both looking
I'm
like...
getting mixed up. I think I'm getting mixed up between two different games here in my head.
We're doing Die Hard this week, Adam.
Of course we're doing Die Hard.
Dino Crisis.
No, I mean between the two different Die Hards. But if I was thinking of Dino Crisis, like, oh, I don't remember there being dinosaurs in there.
John McClane gets mauled by a fucking raptor.
Wait a minute, I was playing the chipped version.
What was it? A, airport blows up. B, plane goes down. C,
John McClane gets
papers.
divorce papers, or D, a terrorist shoots him in the head.
Come on, today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in 3, 2, 1.
Sorry. Yeah.
You both said B. You are both correct.
Really annoyed about the first question.
Okay. How many different types of guns are in Die Hard 2?
Oh,
Is
no.
it A, 7, B, 9, C, 3, or D, 6?
Why have you put them all so close together? Why don't you say, like, A, blah, 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 B, 102.
All right. E, 109.
Having a go at you then has made me forget the numbers that you said as well.
I know.
Well, no, I'm only saying it once this time. No, God. So is it A, 7, B, 9, C, 3, or D, 6?
I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. I'm just trying to picture it in my head. Does a rocket count as a gun?
Today. Come on.
Does a rocket count as a gun? It's a grenade.
Yeah, actually, you're counting the grenades and things.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, that changes every fucking...
Right. 3, 2.
Oh.
No! You both say A. You are both incorrect.
Oh.
6.
Fuck! I just put D down. You threw me off with the grenade thing. You piece of shit.
At least you won't get 100%.
You fucking twat. If I get the rest of these answers right, I'm going to be mad.
Which country was the game banned in because of the third title in this game? Was it A, Australia, B, Germany, C, Canada, or D, Japan?
It's banned in my house.
Or is it E, Dave's house?
I'm going with E.
But it's not, but your house is not a country, Dave.
Fucking is, man. Dave.
Fucking hell, mate.
Oh, God.
You made me forget the order of everything again.
Yeah, me too.
Would you like me to read them out again?
Yeah, please.
Is it A, Australia, B, Germany, C, Canada, or D, Japan?
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah? So in
I
3,
haven't got a clue about this one.
2, 1. Adam says B, Dave says A. Adam is correct.
How do you even know that?
Research.
Oh, on that page too.
Question number 9. What happens on the game over screen in Die Hard 3? Is it A, Samuel Jackson slaps you, B. Bruce Willis appears on a skateboard. C. New York blows up. Or D. A helicopter crashes into the car you're driving.
I'm ready.
So in 3, 2, 1. You both say C. You are correct.
That's why I said I was getting confused, because I know that one of them, the city, like the place blows up, and then one of them thingy. So
he's gonna be so mad now because he can only get 9. Because of that other
I don't believe it. I fucking put D down as well. I'm so angry at myself.
Question number 10, which is the final question. A second game was made, followed its own original story, but what was it called? Is it Die Hard, Dying Harder? B. This Time It's a Matter of Revenge? C. Viva Las Vegas? Or D. Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker? So, in 3, 2, 1. You're both correct with C, yes.
I don't believe
so he's got 9.
Fuck! And it's my own doing as well. If I hadn't have asked you that question, I would have just fucking put it up.
I'm alright, so I got 7, so that was out of it anyway.
You right there, Adam?
No, I'm really mad.
Full of rage. I don't know who the rage is aimed at either. I don't know if it was me
It's
or
at myself. It's at myself.
That's good.
He second guessed himself, you know.
If I hadn't have asked him the question about the grenades, I would have got it. Fuck's sake.
So, on that note, we'll end this week's episode. If you have liked it, please comment, like, subscribe, all the usual jazz that we actually do each week. And obviously, if there's any games that you want us to play, let us know in the comments below. We will try our hardest to play that game again. And also, if there's things you have liked or haven't liked, again, let us know in the comments. You can email us at dustytobroken, that's the number 2, at gmail.com. The email is down there at the bottom of the screen. And obviously, next week, are we saying what we're doing next week? Because we're going to be recording it hopefully very soon. So we are going to be doing Streets of Rage. So make sure you check in for that one. It's going to be a good episode. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Next week, we are going to be doing Streets of Rage. So make sure you tune in for that one. Should be a good episode. But until then, I've been your host, Glenn. He's been Adam. And he's been Big Dave. See you next time on the next episode of From Dusty Cartridges to Broken Discs.
Bye, y'all.
Later.
See you in a bit.
Yippee Ki Yay!
Yippee Ki Yay!
Bye bye, bad guy.
Oh god.
We're not gonna make it.
Oh, I think I'm just thirsty. That's why I'm getting all tongue-tied. I was like, yeah.
There's a compilation on YouTube of all the quotes from the game. It's fucking cool.
I'll put a link in here somewhere.
I am genuinely wounded that I
I'm so glad you didn't get 10 out of 10.
I'm genuinely wounded that I second guessed myself.
Oh, fucking hell.
You know, right? We slag him off, but if he'd done that, he would have been the only person who's got 2 lots of 100%. You know, we go, "Oh, you never play games," but you know what? He knows them.
Oh yeah, true.
He's doing really well on these quizzes.
Told you it's that second fucking page. Me and you need to try harder, Glenn.